Hello everyone, my name is Juliette. I am a third year international relations student at King's College London. I took the opportunity to contribute to the Art for Refugees initiative in order to be able to deep dive into issues that we don't necessarily get the opportunity to do in an academic setting and be able to emphasize the more emotional side of this conflict issues. As someone who's lived across different cultures, I've always been drawn to the complexities of national identity and reconciliation. My experience in Djibouti, where I have lived for 5 years, witnessing the palpable tension and the resilience of its people, shaped my perspective and my drive to engage in humanitarian effort. So, in this article, I aimed at unpacking some of the intricate layers of Djibouti's ethnic conflict and the role of international powers in shaping its current state. Let's start with a bit of history. Djibouti is a nation marked by its strategic location by the Red Sea and has been a battleground for ethnic tensions since the early 1990s. The Afar and the Issa communities have been at odds, fueled by a legacy of favoritism under the French colonial rule. Despite the peace agreements in the 1990s and the early 2000s, true reconciliation seems elusive because these agreements often fail to address the deep-seated ethnic tensions and the external influences that perpetrate them. France, despite its role as a mediator, has complicated legacy here. During the colonial era, they promoted the Issas over the Afars, creating an imbalance that persisted post-independence. Their support during the civil war to the government side further complicated things, adding layers to the ethnic violence. This historical interference has left a lasting impact on Djibouti's political landscape, making it hard for peace to truly take root. So, in my article, there are three key points that I hope readers take away. First is the importance of understanding the historical context behind current conflict, as it is crucial for crafting effective and sustainable peace effort. Historical grievances, territorial disputes, and cultural clashes often underpin present-day conflicts, influencing the perceptions and actions of the involved parties. By studying the origins and evolution of these disputes, mediators and policymakers can identify the deep-seated issues that need to be addressed to achieve lasting peace. This knowledge also helps in crafting solutions that are sensitive to the historical injustices and fears of all parties, thereby enhancing the credibility and acceptance of peace initiatives. Furthermore, awareness of historical context can prevent the repetition of past mistakes and promote a more informed and empathetic approach to negotiation. In a sense, a thorough understanding of history not only eliminates the roots of conflict, but also provides a roadmap for sustainable reconciliation and peace building. For instance, in Djibouti, the enduring ethnic tensions between the Afar and the Issa, communities exacerbated by French colonial favoritism, have continued to influence political dynamics and social structures long after independence. This deep-seated history complicates reconciliation, as past injustices remain embedded in the collective memory and continue to affect trust and cooperation between groups. Consequently, peace agreements that fail to address these historical roots are often fragile and short-lived. Effective peace building therefore requires a thorough understanding of the historical factors at play to ensure that all stakeholders feel that their grievances are acknowledged and addressed, paving the way for a stable, inclusive political environment. This approach not only helps to prevent the recurrence of conflict, but also promotes a more profound, lasting peace that goes beyond a mere ceasefire and addresses the underlying causes of discord. Second takeaway is that the role of international actors cannot be overlooked. Their interests often shape the outcomes of local conflict, and not always for the better. International actors often play a critical role in shaping the outcomes of local conflict, driven by a complex mix of geopolitical interests, economic states, and strategic alliances. These external entities may intervene in local disputes with the intention of promoting peace and stability, yet their involvement is frequently influenced by their own agendas. For instance, powerful nations may support one side of a conflict through military aid or economic sanctions to expand their influence in a strategic region or to gain access to valuable resources. Similarly, international bodies like the United Nations may facilitate negotiation or deploy peacekeeping forces, but the efficacy and direction of such interventions are often subject to the diverse interests of the member states. Consequently, while these actors can help steer conflict toward resolution, their intervention can also prolong or complicate conflicts, depending on how their strategic interests align with the on ground realities. This dynamic can result in a situation where the resolution of a conflict reflects the interest of international player as much as or even more than the interest of the local parties directly involved. And third takeaway, true peace requires more than agreements. It needs genuine reconciliation and systemic change. Reconciliation and systemic change are pivotal elements in establishing and sustaining peace within societies marked by historical conflict or systemic inequalities. Reconciliation is crucial because it addresses the grievances and emotional healing necessary for coexistence. Without it, peace remains fragile as unresolved emotions and memories can reignite tensions. Systemic change complements this by addressing the root of conflict, such as discrimination, unequal resource distribution, and unjust legal systems. Implementing systemic reforms ensures that peace is not merely a temporary cessation of violence, but a sustainable state supported by a foundation of justice and equity. Together, reconciliation and systemic change create an environment where peace is not only possible but also enduring, as they transform the underlying attitudes and structures that initially led to discord. This holistic approach is essential for any society seeking to transition from a state of conflict to one of lasting peace. So, I would like to invite you all to reflect on the broader implications of Djibouti's struggle. How do external power shape the destiny of smaller nations, and what can we, as global citizens, do to advocate for more equitable policies and genuine peace? So finally, my plans for the future is that I would like to move forward in the security of humanitarian operations. Security protocols of humanitarian missions on the ground are often sensitive to the local experiences and needs. This is why this journalism opportunities with Art from Refugees fosters understanding of the complexity faced by communities emerging from conflict, including the security challenges and humanitarian needs that arise. Leveraging this insight is therefore crucial to enhance the security protocols of humanitarian mission, ensuring they are robust yet sensitive to the cultural and social dynamics of the communities they serve. And journalistic skills in storytelling and information dissemination will be pivotal in raising awareness and support for these enhanced security measures, ultimately contributing to safer and more effective humanitarian operations. Thanks everyone for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed reading my article.